discouragement. How many of you have felt discouraged? You felt like now is enough. I can't take anymore. Today, we have a lesson for Bible Sunday school teaching. It's called Dealing with Discouragement. And I'll be teaching some of this. And I'm not going to post it on my social media just because I don't want them to see it before we have church. A little bit of an overview. The story goes of Moses and the Israelites going through the desert. Most of you probably know that story. And this was at the point where they were almost ready to go over to the promised land, and there were so many things coming against them. I mean, Aaron had died. Moses was discouraged, but it seemed like he was always able to go on. And now if we look at this verse here in Numbers 21, we start reading in verse 5. And the people spake against God and against Moses, wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul just longs for that light bread that we had back in Egypt when they were slaves. They were just thinking about what they had. So many of us, we think what we used to have at a certain point in our life when everything seemed to go well. The thing is, it didn't go well. We just have poor memories, and we yearn for the good old days and the good old times. And the only reason we can say that is because we can only remember the good and not the bad, which is a good thing. Well, here the people were dealing with discouragement, and it took them down the wrong path, which quite often it does for us too. And then verse 6, it says, and the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much of the people of Israel died. You might think that's not fair. What happened here? Like, just follow along here. The people were out of alignment with God. Okay, verse 7. Therefore the people came to Moses. By the way, this is King James Version, so it's a little thick English. I don't necessarily like this English. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord, and that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And that's exactly what he did. Even today, the ambulance has a picture of a snake on a pole. This is where it comes from. It's a sign of healing. And so when people were able to look up and see that serpent, they were to be healed. And what does that represent? Does that bring anything in memory or in your mind that might represent for today? I believe it was a pointing forward to a Savior, that one day Jesus Christ would be here, and people who look up to him can be healed. Now, back in the day, I've heard stories and seen videos. I don't know how true it is. They would drag some people out, but they would some people that were sick and about to die, but they would refuse to look up at that serpent and look at it because they had too much pride. So I was wondering how many of us today are dealing with pride. We don't want to look up to God or to Jesus as our Savior. We just want to look, just keep looking down. And we look, come on, excuse me. And we look at our own strength and say, well, I'm doing as good as I can. Well, you know, guys, we are out of alignment. You know, if we're not in line with God, then we're out of line with God. We don't want that. We want God to bless us. So keep looking up and make sure you're in alignment today. All right, enough for now. We'll see you next time around.